The Sangamon County Coroner's Office has finished an autopsy of drowning victim Eugene Gibson. He drowned in Lake Springfield yesterday afternoon. Gibson's roommate said the two had been drinking, but autopsy results are not back yet to determine if Gibson was intoxicated. Rescue workers say most drowning cases are treated with the golden hour rule. That means if a drowning victim is submerged in cold water for less than an hour, there's a remote chance the person can be revived. But the water around Gibson was recorded at 84 degrees. Officials say that fact alone eliminated the golden hour for Gibson. And the drowning has sparked a battle between two area dive teams.
The Springfield Underwater Search and Rescue Team says it's being unfairly excluded from water rescues in Springfield and Sangamon County. The organization believes it could have been on the scene of yesterday's drowning faster than the Sangamon County ESDA dive team. As Dave Heller reports, that raises the question, is public safety being compromised by this dispute?
The Sangamon County Emergency Services and Disaster Dive Team was dispatched to the drowning of Eugene Gibson yesterday afternoon. Witnesses at the scene say it took at least 40 minutes before divers were in the water. Gibson's body was recovered about 45 minutes later. The Springfield Underwater Search and Rescue Team is upset that it wasn't called to the scene. One member says SUSART could have been in the water faster than ESDA if only it had been called. SUSART members complain they've increasingly been shut out of water rescues over the last few years. They say the problem is coming to a head now, and they want an explanation. ESDA Director David Butt says the situation dates back several years when the City Council passed an ordinance which officially made the ESDA dive team the designated agency for water recovery. He says it comes down to liability. David Butt says several years ago elsewhere in Illinois, a diver with a club similar to SUSART died while partaking in a club activity. He says the family sued all parties involved in that activity. Following that incident, SUSART's insurance policy was reviewed by city attorneys, the state's attorney, and an independent insurance agency.
All three reviewing parties concurred that it did not cover a liability for injury or death of a SUSART club member.
But this raises the question, is public safety being compromised by preventing SUSART from assisting in rescues, especially if SUSART could get to a scene first?
I don't think it compromises the public safety.
Butt says the dive team responds as soon as it's paged. ESDA's records show it didn't get yesterday's call until 2:05. They say their first boat was in the water at 2:33 in less than a half hour.
I believe that we were there as quickly as anyone possibly could have been there.
Dave Heller, News Channel 20, Springfield.
ESDA says excluding SUSART also comes down to coordination. David Butt says having two separate groups on the water can confuse the response. Mayor Karen Husera is investigating.